Hi, I'm James Schillinglaw for Insider Travel Report. I'm here at Glen Eagles in Scotland at the Internova Plus Luxury Travel Conference. And I'm here with Dennis Gruden, who's the Vice President of Hotel Programs for Internova. And we're going to get a sense of the programs that they have for all the advisors here, because this is a cross-section of all the luxury advisors in the Internova network. It's advisors from Travel Leaders Network, it's advisors from Global Travel Collection, it's advisors from Nexion, everybody who really focuses on luxury, and they're really working hard to create great programs for them to sell. And you're going to find out about at least their hotel programs here and more on Insider Travel Report. First of all, Dennis, great to see you here. It's a little bit of a dreary day here at Glen Eagles, but it's Scotland, right?
We're in Scotland. Thank you for having me, James. Thank you for being here.
Well, I'm happy to be here. I love this resort, and this is my first kind of Internova luxury event that I've attended. I've been invited to a few, but it's the first time I was invited to this one, and we sort of have an exclusive here. We're the only journalism outlet here. Thank you, Albert Herrera of Internova, and we're trying to give a sense of what Internova is doing in the luxury space. Now, first of all, can you talk a little bit about your overall hotel program and how it's divided into those different categories: select, curated, and worldwide, and also how many hotels are in each of those categories?
Certainly, yes. At Internova, it's really important for us that we provide the advisors with a program suite where they can tap in, or like that they can sell with full confidence, and they have the support and the flexibility across different price points, whatever the traveler is looking for. So we have the select program, curated, and worldwide. They complement each other. They are really meant to be used across the traveler's journey. Like whatever inquiry that one of our advisors will get, we're able to place that with one of our preferred partners. The select program, we currently have 1,800 members.
Those are really the upscale, the five-star hotels, right?
Yes, select is really your go-to restaurant for the luxury, your go-to hotel for the luxury.
Which also have good restaurants too.
I hope so. Yes, certainly. But we it's a global footprint, but we truly work with both brands as well as independent properties, and then we launched curated. I think we talked about it a good 2.5 years ago at the GTC event. This is more for like the style forward, smaller boutique, but also some branded properties for more of like the modern traveler. And then we have our worldwide program, which is global scale for value-driven leisure traveler or for a corporate traveler, where we have certainly a lot of advisors that also cater to those travelers.
So curated, how many hotels in that collection?
We have a good, 300 to 400 properties. We're still in the ramp-up phase for the program. We have seen significant increase in program adoption from our advisors, and the interest from the hotels is also there. So very happy to see that. And then, as I said, they complement each other. We have a global footprint of 48,000 properties worldwide.
That's in the worldwide, and so that's all the other properties that you can book as an Internova travel advisor. So they have a wide range of types of hotels, and I assume a geographical distribution all over the world.
Absolutely. Correct, yes.
Now, how do you choose the hotels that, especially in the select ones? How does a hotel qualify for these different groups?
We have a very strict and very encompassing vetting process. The thing is, we do create these programs with the advisors in mind. I always like to say, those are our programs. At the end of the day, those are really the programs for the advisors. Every property that we bring into the program, is it something that the advisors can support? We look into production, we look into program fit. We look into, is it a product that we really support and want the advisors to sell? Does it excite us, and who's behind it? It's important that we truly have these relationships, because it doesn't end with us selling the property. We need to make sure that it's really a cohesive client journey, and that when our advisors hand the traveler over to the hotel, that experience continues.
Does that go for the curated section too? And that's, how do you choose those? Because those are more 4-star and boutique, right?
Yes, there's certainly a distinction I would say the curated is more of like a design forward, a lot of individuality. Some properties that would maybe not get into some of those more traditional hotel programs. And we identify that niche in the market. And, I'm very proud to say that we're the only ones out there that have a dedicated program for that type of properties.
No, and you're right. Everybody goes for that 5-star top of the range, and they grow that part, but they don't have that level on the curated side. Now, what are kind of the amenities and special services that when you book, let's say, a select property that the advisor is getting for their clients?
Yeah. So select is always, it's a one-night stay as a minimum, and then you receive the daily breakfast for two, $100 minimum at least. That can be a hotel credit, that can be a very unique experience. It depends on the property type, but we work with our partners during the vetting process to really identify those unique touch points that make up the experience and that enhances the traveler's value while they're on site.
So we're talking about early check-in, late check-out, things like that?
Things like that, it's really on a case-by-case basis. Like, what does the property actually, like, what are they able to facilitate? Like, what is something that, we can promote to the traveler that enhances the value for the advisors and that ensures that the traveler also receives a great experience when they're staying at a property.
Now, and also, I assume there are different commission levels that that the advisors can get for different programs here?
Yes. Not everyone is created equal. There is certainly, we work with partners. All of our programs are commissionable. Like, that's really, it's key. Like, that's the key. We need the advisors to be compensated. We start at a minimum, but, there's a good range that, like, we can go up and down, like, not down. We can.
You're not going.
Again, the commission levels definitely vary per property in some cases, but all of our programs are at a minimum commissionable to everyone, because that's how the advisors at the end of the day make money. But like, it's not that we would bring someone in who says, oh, we don't want to work with commissions. That's not how we work. No. Like, we're really here for the advisors.
Yeah, and as you should be, because so you have these different levels, and do you have any research that kind of shows, first of all, how often do you add hotels to these different groups?
Yeah, we are very unique in that sense. There's different programs in the market where some of the hoteliers have to decide, okay, I need to have my application in by a certain date. Again, because we create these programs for our advisors, and it's our own. I have a lot of flexibility, like add throughout the year. I add in January, I add in March, I add throughout the year. Like, whenever we have a partner reach out and we think that it's valuable to expand the program, we will bring them into the program. I have probably like a good 4-week period when we deploy and change the platform over into the next year contracting cycle. But other than that, like, we are really here to work with partners as they look to be part of the program, and how it really, how does it support the opening? Like, how do we fit into the timeline? When can we step in to support the sales efforts for the partners?
And who chooses? Are you choose, or your travel advisors choose, or does a hotel partner come to you and say, look, I want to be part of the program, and then you assess whether they can be or will be?
Yes. So, there would always be an initial outreach. I'm like, hey, I have an interest of working with Internova, referrals from current members in the program, and then they complete an application online, and that touches a couple of data points: who's behind the project, how many rooms do you have, what's your comp set, because we also evaluate how's the destination already represented in the program, will it increase the value for the advisors to have a certain product, and then we already ask from the get-go what is the desired amenity proposal, and then we see what does your neighbor offer, and how can we then make sure that we also give you your moment to shine if I onboard you into the program, and then it's, of course, it is references. Like, every application needs to provide at least 3 strong referrals to be considered, and those do not have to come just from the industry broadly. They have to come from one of our agencies, right? Because we have a plethora of brands, as you know. So as long as they already identified a production from one of our advisors, or they have worked with one of our advisors, because they can also sometimes book a property because they know the GM or they know the salesperson. But it's truly important for us that there is a support already, and that they, we check with each of the references on, like, hey, how was your experience? If you haven't experienced it yourself as an advisor, how was your traveler experience? How was your booking experience? Because all of these really, these factors are truly important to us.
And have you done any research to find out how well your different hotel programs have really driven luxury sales?
Yes, we have seen a significant increase, especially over the last 2.5 years in program adoption across all three programs. Select and Curate are truly the front runners on it, because I think the advisors understand that we do create the programs for them. Like it is our own program, like we create it in-house. I can be so flexible, whereas, if I need to run every application by a committee or a board, that's a different situation. Like we do not necessarily plan these decisions, or like we do not make these decisions based on, everyone says yay or nay. The good thing is I have Albert right next to me.
Yeah. He knows a little bit about hotels, right?
He knows a little bit about hotels, but it's just the plethora of knowledge that he has, I walked into this hotel room 20 years ago, the wallpaper looked like this, the layout was like that. He knows these things, and it is so valuable because the advisors appreciate it. I certainly appreciate it if I haven't been to the hotel myself. And I think it really results in a fantastic collection that we created at Internova now.
Well, you have several great collections, I think, and more to come. I guess you're going to be adding to all those collections over time as you get, and also the best thing is they're available to all advisors who are affiliated with an Internova, one of the groups in Internova, as long as they are selling luxury, right?
Yes. So that's really the unique situation, that when a partner wants to work with us, or we bring them into the, I always call it the Internova universe, but it's truly, regardless of which agency one of our advisors is affiliated with, they all tap into the same program suite. It can be our uber luxury travel advisor within GTC, may book a select rate. However, I also have a very strong corporate division with Altor. We have a consortia with Travel Leaders Network. We can never just say, oh, they don't do luxury. They book whatever the traveler is looking for, and we provide them with the programs to book whatever the traveler is actually looking for that specific experience.
Well, here we are at Glen Eagles, which we think of as a resort, but it's also a conference destination, yes. And you're holding your conference here. Exactly. And I've been here many times with conferences, and also been here for leisure time, right?
Yeah, and it's fantastic, right?
Oh, it's amazing. It's an amazing property, and I'm glad to be back here. And how long have you been with Internova now?
I am now going on 4 years next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where were you before?
I was overseeing the leading hotels of the world on the East Coast.
Just a small group then.
Just a small group. But the beauty is, I always say it's like coming home. When I walked in here, I said to Connor, finally, because I know Connor from my leading days. So it's nice because I carry the relationships from my previous roles. It's all about
you were interacting with a lot of great hotels as part of leading, and now you're doing the same here with Internova, right?
Very fortunate. Very fortunate, yeah.
And Connor's a great guy. He's the general manager or managing director of Glen Eagles, and also Glen Eagles Townhouse, which I'm going to be interviewing him later for. Dennis, I want to thank you for taking the time. It's a busy 3 days here, and hopefully the weather's going to clear up. But this is Scotland, so we can't expect any more than this. But it's great being here in this cozy environs of Glen Eagles.
Thank you for having me, James.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.